Okay, so first we're going to start with our high frequency words and our spelling words. So I'm going to present that. So what I want y'all to do is not to unmute yourself, but to keep yourself muted, but you can still say the words out loud with me, okay? All right, so let me present my screen. Hi, Clinton. We're about to start our high frequency words. Let's see here. All right, so your screen is loading right now, and you should see my high frequency word slides. Give me a thumbs up if you can see that. Awesome, so we can go ahead and start. All right, so our high frequency words, you ready? A, and, go, got, have, not, the, to, will, you. All right, so now we're going to do our spelling words. You ready? Oop. Sad, bit, jam, glad, list, win, flat, if, fix, rip, kit, mask. All right. So I'm going to stop presenting my screen here. So those are our high frequency words and our spelling words. So let me go ahead and we're going to head and start on our reading lesson. Oops. There we go. All right, so we are learning in reading. We're going to learn about syllables. So a syllable is a word part that has a vowel sound. So I will say a word and you're going to repeat it. You ready? But you're going to hold up your fingers counting the syllables of that word. So the beat, okay? So then, so here's my first word. Kitten. So y'all say kitten. All right, so now we're going to count it out. You ready? Kitten. How many syllables do you have? Two syllables, right? All right, so now we're going to try some more. You ready? All right, so count it whenever I say it. Sister. So let's see. Sister. How many? Two. There are two syllables. All right, let's see. The best way to do it also, can y'all snap? Or you can take your hand and two fingers and you can clap it out. That's like the silent clap. All right, you ready? We're going to do the next one. So I'm giving you the word and you're going to snap it or clap it out. You ready? Ran. How many? One. There's one. All right. Ooh, here's another one. You ready? Fantastic. How many? Three. There are three syllables. Good job, guys. All right, here's the next one. Bandit. Two. How many?
Two.
You're 2. All right, here's the next one. You ready? Pat.
1.
There's 1. Good job, Clinton. You had that one. All right, here's the last one. Tidbit.
2.
There are 2, so tidbit. Good job. All right, so now I'm going to present my screen, and we are going to say some words. So Clinton, you'll kind of guide us since you have your microphone on. So whenever you hear Clinton say the word, you're going to say it also, okay? So Clinton, good job for being our leader today. All right, so I'm going to present my screen, and I want to make sure that y'all can see it. It would be that one. All right, so everybody should see like a paper with a bear on it. Do you see it with a whole bunch of words?
I did this before.
You've done this before? This is basically reviews. So this is kind of like the first grade review. So we're going to be doing this together. Okay, you ready? Right, so the first word is pat. So you're going to repeat after me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Pat. Hit.
Hit.
Pat.
Hat.
Hit.
Hit.
Nip.
Nip.
Catnip.
Catnip.
Good job. 2. So we're on number 2. So we're on this line right here. All right. Cab.
Cab.
Can.
Can.
Quit.
Quit.
Attic.
Attic.
Fib.
Flip.
Zigzag.
Zigzag.
So we're on number 3. Am.
Am.
6.
6.
Man.
Man.
Pin.
Pin.
Fit.
Fit.
Hat pin.
Hat pin.
So we're on number 4. Nap.
Nap.
Visit.
Visit.
Sat.
Sat.
Bag.
Bag.
Big.
Big.
Picnic.
Picnic.
5. Magic.
Magic.
Panic.
Panic.
Timid.
Can you give me a blank piece of paper?
I'm sorry, sweetie. What did you say? Oh, okay. So valid.
Valid.
Rapid.
Rapid.
So number 6, I'm going to read the sentence and then you're going to read it with me. You ready to read it with me together? All right. 1, 2, 3. Kim dips and digs in the jam. All right. Number 7, you're going to read it with me at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Kim, you can not have jam. Good job. All right, last one, number 8. Dan can fit
He might wake up
jam in his big bag. Good job. So this right here is helping us blend those letters together to make that solid word. Okay, guys? So this is what we'll be practicing. So once you come back into school, you'll do this with me on my big board, okay? All right. So you can go ahead and mute yourself, Clinton, for just a second, sweetie. Thank you, sweetie. All right. So next what we're going to do is Mrs. Fullington's going to introduce to you a new poster. So we did, I don't know if this class was able to do it, but we did a settings, or no, cause and effect. Y'all had to watch, I think it was yesterday where we watched the cause and effect poster. So now I'm going to share with you a new poster And this one is called Ask and Answer Questions. So let me present my screen. All right, so you should see an Ask and Answer Questions loading on your screen right now. Does everybody see it? Give me a thumbs up if you can see it. All right. All right, so this is Ask and Answer Questions. So whenever we read, these are some questions you want to ask yourself. When, why, and how. So when you ask yourself, you're always going to be asking yourself questions before reading, during reading, and after reading. We always constantly do that. So we could be reading a book about the Cat in the Hat, for example, because we read that book together yesterday, I believe. So we can always ask ourselves, what do you think might happen next? Or what if something happened at the end of the book and the Cat in the Hat came back? So you're always asking yourself some questions while you're reading. Why do we ask ourselves those questions? Well, one is to get information. Two is to help you understand the story or the informational text. Two is to practice being awake, always thinking while you're reading. Because sometimes it's in the morning and it can be a little boring, and that's okay. Because sometimes we won't be interested in all of the stuff that we read. But you always want to ask yourself questions, and you always want to make sure that you're paying attention and you're focusing while you're reading. The last one is to be curious and to wonder as you read. So when I say, let's do a curious question, so I always say, I wonder if. So when you ask yourself that question, you are being curious. So how do you ask yourself those questions? These are some words that you can use to ask yourself some questions. You can always start your sentence with who, what, where, why, when, and how. So that's how you ask yourself. And when you answer, you look around in the story at the pictures or maybe details or certain words to help you answer your questions, okay? All right. So now we're going to practice asking ourselves some certain questions while we read Clark the Shark. I think we've read this. Have we read this before? I think we have. No? Yeah, I think we read it yesterday, but we have somebody else going to read it to us, and he does some really good voices. So I think the video on certain people did not get to watch it because the video was not working. So you're going to be able to see it today, okay? All right, so let me present my screen, and we're going to listen to Clark the Shark. All right. So give me a thumbs up if you see. It looks like a YouTube channel, kind of. Everybody see it? Yeah, that's a good job, Braxton. So this will probably be just review, okay? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself so that you can see yourself. Okay?
Hey everybody, welcome to Storyline Online, brought to you by the SAG-AFTRA Foundation. My name is Chris Pine, and today we are reading the wonderful book, Clark the Shark, written by Bruce Hale and illustrated by Guy Francis. Let us begin. In all of the wide blue seas, in all of the wide blue world, the top school for fish was the Theodore Roosterfish Elementary. And of all the fish, Theodore Roosterfish, the biggest and the strongest, was Clark the Shark. Clark loved school, and he loved his teacher, Mrs. Inkydink. He loved to play upsy-downsy, spin-a-majig with his friends. Clark loved his life. School is awesome, shouted Clark the Shark. Less shouting, more reading, said Mrs. Inkydink. Lunchtime is sweet, yelled Clark the shark. Munch your own lunch, said his best friend Joey Mackerel. Recess rocks, bellowed Clark the shark. You're playing too rough, Clark, cried the other kids. Yes, Clark loved his life with all of his sharky heart. But he loved everything way too much. He was too loud. He was too wild. He was just too much shark for other fish to handle. After a while, no one would play with Clark. No one ate lunch with Clark. No one sat with him at circle time. Even his best friend, Joey Mackerel, said, "Cool your jets, Clark. You're making me crazy." One day, Clark asked Mrs. Inkydink, "What's wrong with everyone?" Mrs. Inkydink, she patted his fin. "Clark, sometimes you play too hard. You munch too hard. Gosh, you even help too hard. But life is so exciting," said Clark. "There's a time and a place for everything," said Mrs. Inkydink. "And sometimes the rule is stay cool." At recess, Clark tried to stay cool, but he pushed the swing with too much zing. "Oh, sorry," said Clark. "I forgot." "Yikes," cried Joey Mackerel. At lunch, Clark tried to stay cool, but everything smelled so good, he munched a bunch of lunches. "Oh, sorry," said Clark. "I forgot." "We're starving," said his friends. And in class, Clark tried to stay cool, but a good book got him all shook up. "Now, Clark," said Mrs. Inkydink, "this isn't the time or the place. Tell me, what's the rule?" "Stay cool," said Clark. "Hey, that rhymes," he cried. Then Clark got a big idea in his sharky head. "Maybe if I make a rhyme, I'll remember every time," he thought. The next day, he put his plan to work. In class, when lessons got exciting, Clark wanted to bounce up out of his seat. Instead, he told himself, "When teacher's talking, don't go walking." And what do you know? It worked. "Attaboy, Clark," said Mrs. Inkydink. Clark smiled. "Wow, lessons are fun." At lunch, everything smelled so yummy. And when Clark wanted to eat and never stop, he told himself, "Only munch your own lunch." And it worked again. "Way to go, Clark," said his friends. Clark grinned. Lunch is fun." At playtime, Clark told himself, "Easy does it, that's the way. Then my friends will let me play." And playtime was fun. Once more, Clark loved his life. But then, shadow fell across the playground. A ginormous shadow with tentacles galore. "It's a new kid, and he looks scary," cried Joey Mackerel. "Swim for your lives!" The squid squashed the slide, and it snapped off the swings. "Oops, my bad," said the new kid. "Wait," said Clark. "He just wants to play. Let's find a way." And he swam at the new kid with all his might. Clark played harder than he ever had before. Upsy downsy, spin him a jig. Why, he even made up a new game. Tail Wumpalumpus. "Wow, that was fun," said the new kid breathlessly, and he settled down. "If you want to come to school, you gotta stay cool," said Clark. "That's right, Clark," said Mrs. Inkydink. "And thanks for taking care of our new classmate, Sid the Squid." "Hooray for Clark the Shark!" everyone cheered. That night, Clark's mother asked, "What did you learn at school, dear?" "There's a time and a place for everything," Clark said. "Sometimes you stay cool. But sometimes a shark's gotta do what a shark's gotta do." The end. That was Clark the Shark, everybody. I think it speaks to all of us. It talks about how we all want to do what we want to do, right? We want to be ourselves, and we want to yell when we want to yell, and play and laugh and have a good time. But as Mrs. Inkydink said, there's a time and a place for everything, and there's a time and a place to be considerate of other people's feelings. I think the lesson is be considerate. Thank you so much for watching Storyline Online. Make sure to check out all of the other stories. Keep watching and keep reading.
Okay, that was a really good story, right? I always like when an actor does it because it does all the voices and I can actually pay attention, right? So, with that being said, we watched Clark the Shark, and then I'm going to show you where you can find the next activity for reading, okay? So, I'm going to present my screen to act like we're student in Mrs. Fullington's class. So that way you can find the activity directly into your seesaw. So let's see. Here. All right, so you should be seeing the screen right now. Let's see, everybody give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Yep, all right, so we are in Seesaw. So right here, you're gonna click the Activities tab. And right here, as you look, it's the same video that we saw that you can rewatch if you like. Just click that circle. And then it says here, 1, listen to the story, Clark the Shark. We've already listened to it, but you can listen to it again by clicking that symbol on that picture. 2, when the story is over, you're going to use the mic to record yourself about the story. So you can start your reflection. So you're basically going to reflect just how Mr. Chris Pine did in the story at the very end. He reflected on the story. You can use one of the starter sentences. So you can always start your sentence with 1, what's important in the story? 2, what matters to me about the story? 3, one thing we should notice about the story. Or 4, I want to remember something about this story that helps you remember. And then when you're done with that, you're going to press done on recording. And you're going to press that green check mark on the top right-hand corner and add it to your journal. So that's all you're going to do. If you don't want to read all of this and you need to re-listen to the instructions, Mrs. Fullington has a play button where you can actually listen to all the instructions right here. Okay, so when you're done, please click that green check mark because that's going to tell me you turned in your work and you've completed that activity for today, okay? Everybody give me a thumbs up. So what are you going to click when you're finished with all your work?
Green check mark.
Green check mark, all right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop presenting my screen. What y'all may do, guys, is log out of this meeting and go to your Seesaw activity. Have a good day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.